Hey, what's up? It's Rashad, Antonio. We are the Upon Further Review. Definitely subscribe to the thing. I haven't been as excited to talk about something that's like huge franchise related in a minute. Today is all about Dune. Matter of fact, this whole week is all about Dune. We get all Dune hot takes. We reviewing the first Dune real quick. What we hoping for in Dune 2. I'm really upset, Tony. Very
What's
upset
that?
that
What's
I
that?
missed the Dune IMAX preview last night. I didn't even know.
I didn't even know either until this morning. And I looked and I saw, wait a minute. I said February 25th. I had to look at the calendar. I said they had a preview of it last night, IMAX.
Was
Man, I was
so
so
mad,
I
yo. I
was
saw this at
yeah.
like 9 o'clock.
Where I'm at in Maryland and at an AMC man, and I was just like, and it's the AMC that I usually go to for the IMAX, and
I
I
was
was
like, I
just
could have
like,
went, but anyway,
yeah,
we won't
pretty much.
belabor the
I won't
point
belabor that.
as we begrudgingly move forward. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the all right. So here's the matter of fact. I said let's be organized today. Here's the rundown. First, I want you to go. Yeah, just a quick review of the first Dune. Tell me the
Mm-hmm.
simplest way you would explain to somebody who has no idea what they're watching what the
Mm-hmm.
first Dune is about.
Oh, you want me to do that
Yeah,
now?
please do that
Oh,
now.
woo. I guess the best way I can explain Dune is this. If you've never seen it, this takes place in, most people want to say the not too far future. No, this takes place in the distant future. In the distant future, and I'd be like, Earth has humans have been able to now be able to travel the galaxy. I'm saying travel the galaxy and go to other galaxies as well. It's hard, man. It's really thinking
It
about it now. It's
is. It
really
really
hard
is
to
hard to explain Dune.
this. I put it like this: Dune is a combination of sci-fi. Well, number one, it's the number one sci-fi, the number one best, number one selling sci-fi book of all time. Period. So that
Yeah.
should let you know something right there. And I guess the best way to describe it is basically for somebody that hasn't seen it, I put it like this. For someone who hasn't seen it, but they've seen Game of Thrones, I would say this think of space Game of Thrones.
That's a very succinct answer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this today too. And I was
Mm-hmm.
really because like I posed a question and didn't have
Mm-hmm.
an answer for it.
Right, right.
It was very hypocritical of me when I was doing this rundown today.
Mm-hmm.
So it it came to me like a vision. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is Dune. So of course this is science fiction. This is space science fiction. That's one.
Right.
Now think about it like this: there's three parties. You have a group of very pretty people. You have a
Okay.
group of ugly people, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have a group that's controlling the other two groups.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
you have the pretty people
Mm-hmm.
been told by the ruling group, we're going to call them the emperor because it's the emperor.
Mm-hmm.
The emperor says, hey guys, you get to have control over this cash crop, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ugly people have been having this cash crop for about 80 years now,
Mm-hmm.
right? The emperor knows that the ugly people don't want to be ugly and poor.
And
The
that they have
emperor
a beef with the pretty people.
the emperor knows that he say, look, man, we can be ugly, but we can't be ugly and
We can
poor.
be ugly and poor.
So the emperor says, hey, ugly people, y'all about to be poor. So
Mm-hmm.
now the pretty people are trying to get the cash crop from the ugly people. They have to leave this planet. And what the ugly people do, they sabotage the planet, spin a block around on them, and then kill all the pretty people. Basically, that's to me like that's Dune.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, with some witches and some prophecy and
Mm-hmm.
some black characters being killed unnecessarily.
It
no,
don't.
sorry, who happens to be the indigenous people of that land
I
where
was
they're
about
taking
to
the
say
resources
that.
from.
Yes, I was about to say that.
All right.
So
So that's
yeah, I
Dune.
mean, yeah. So you know what? That's a great way to do it. I think I did another good way because I think now, especially I say like sci-fi Game of Thrones is because a
It
lot of
is.
people
Yeah.
have become more into Game of Thrones, and believe it or not, a lot of the most popular sci-fi movies, you know, are based from the Dune. As much as we love George Lucas,
Mm-hmm.
all hail George Lucas. Star Wars is basically, I hate to say the term, somewhat of a ripoff of Dune.
Yo, it's so many elements.
So many
So many
elements from
elements.
from and here's the thing, George Lucas will tell you that himself. He will sit there and say
Oh no,
like
no, no, no,
Dune
no.
was
Yeah.
a
Big inspiration.
big inspiration for it. Um, yeah. So I want to just talk about this Dune real quick
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
That's the next. I'm a big audiobook person. That's the next audiobook I'm about to do, Dune
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So I'm finishing up right now the third book in the Game of Thrones. Excuse me, the fourth book in the Game of Thrones series. I'm in a Feast for Crows right now. Stuff is great. If you guys haven't, by the way, read the books or audio, if you don't want to read it, audio, the books for the Game of Thrones series. So much more stuff. A lot of characters missing out. Some things is just weird and crazy as hell. Anyway, back to Dune. I've known about Dune since I was a little boy because I've always been into sci-fi stuff. And I remember back in the early to mid 80s, little Antonio was like about 5, 6, 7 years old. And there's this movie on TV. It's called Dune. And it was horrible. It was horrible. It's crazy because there has been so many directors, movie companies have tried to adapt this book into a movie, but it's just, for certain reasons they just couldn't do it until now. And the reason, I think one reason is because I don't think we had the technology to do a lot of stuff.
No.
Even with the practical effects, I don't think it really could have been done. It could have been done, and
No.
now that and then like when they said they was doing this movie Dune, a lot of the quote unquote book snobs of Dune were like, we'll see. We've tried this before. I just want to see a good movie. And God knows when that first one came out, what, 2020? It here's a fact. So when they dropped this movie,
21.
no one knew 2021. Excuse me, it was because it was in the pandemic. When they dropped this movie, nobody knew that they only did the first half of the book. The first half of the book. No one knew. I thought
Yes.
it was going to be the complete book and everything. And then too, the movie flowed so well. When the movie ended, I said, "Oh, that was 2.5 hours already."
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know it was 2.5 hours. The the movie company wanted to see how well it did before they completed the second one. So imagine this: they dropped this movie in the middle of the pandemic, and when they dropped it, this is when movie theaters first started tinkering, letting it open. But they also dropped it in the theater and they dropped it streaming. I
Yep, that
think
was
it
day
made
and day.
500. I think how much it make that first
It
week, like
made
500.
yeah, I don't know how much first week, but it topped off at for US box was
Uh-huh.
400, basically $435 million.
435. Think about that. Simultaneously coming out into theaters and streaming because the pandemic was going on. Imagine what it would have done if if we weren't in the pandemic, man.
Bruh.
Just imagine that. And based off of that, that's why they were able to do the sequel, I'm saying, not the sequel, but the second half of the book. And I mean, this is one of those movies that's what I like to call not only a space odyssey, but one of those movie odysseys where you have such a heavy hitter cast of people in this
Mm-hmm.
daggone, in this daggone, in this franchise. So
Yeah, like that's the thing for me. Like kind of piggybacking off that. Like one of my favorite parts of the first Dune,
Mm-hmm.
besides just the actual the odd flow of the movie that kind of kept me in it, is
Mm-hmm.
also how, to be honest, how confused I was. Like, this isn't a one shot watch. Like I've seen Doom maybe like 6 times. and I'll find like little new things every time I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the type of movies that I like. Like when I go back to it, it's not just the same boring thing. It's like, okay, that prophet that vision goes to that prophecy. Like him
Mm-hmm.
having, especially, okay, let's say at the end when he's having the
Mm-hmm.
prophecy of him losing the fight to the black dude,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then he actually wins because of the vision. So now he
Mm-hmm.
realizes that all these visions aren't really the truth. They could be visions of warnings, they could be visions of things to happen, or they could be visions of just lies. So that whole aspect of him having visions, of course, is probably can be explained away by somebody who's read all the source material. But just to me, as somebody who don't really be reading books like that, and I'm just coming in blind because I appreciate just the movie itself, kind of
Mm-hmm.
it really kept me intrigued and it keeps me coming back to watching the movie. And that's like to be honest, one of my favorite things, even with like the Bene Gesserit, they having visions, how he wasn't even supposed to be a daggone male. He's supposed to be a
Mm-mm.
girl. The fact that she
Mm-hmm.
can control the gender of her
Mm-hmm.
child, which is crazy in
Mm-hmm.
and of itself. I mean, it's so this is so much stuff in this movie is just so layered. Just the rich tapestry
Right.
of lore that this franchise
Mm-hmm.
has, of potentiality to see
Mm-hmm.
on screen, has been just amazing to watch.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just do a real recap of the film in itself. So the movie starts out with the Emperor Palashan, if I think that's his correct name. He sends an envoy to meet with House Atreides on their planet to let them know, hey, look here, I want you guys to take control of the spice run. Now, spice in the Dune series is different from in Star Wars. In Star Wars, spice is basically like a drug. It's almost the same in Dune, but anyway, spice in Dune is how they are able to travel in hyperspace
Yeah,
from galaxy to galaxy. It also helps in healing, and it also helps have longer life. So spice
yeah,
basically is the cash crop, cash cow of this entire series. Now, the Harkonnen family, aka the ugly people that Rashad said, had been in charge of spice production on the planet Arrakis for like all these years. And the Harkonnens and the Atreides family have been beefing. But the problem is the Emperor noticed that the Atreides family, the trade house Atreides, has started to become, as my grandmama say, too big for his britches. They felt like, yo, this house is starting to get a lot more power than I think they deserve, and there's other people backing this house, as because they're one of the great houses. So
hmm
what the Emperor does is like, you know what? I'm about to start some bull. He basically tells the Harkonnens, hey, taking this away from you guys. I'm gonna go give it to you people that you guys hate. And like they are pissed. The Harkonnens are like really pissed off. You see Dave Batista, aka Drax the Destroyer, like snapping at his uncle, who is the head of the Harkonnen house, about this. And then like even the um the Atreides house, Duke Leto, he knows this is a setup and he knows this is some BS, and he's just like,
hmm
yo, like the Emperor and them came all this way. We think it's no why, and then there's like this black guy, and he is known as a Mentek. Now here's the thing in Dune series: machinery, for most all intents and purposes, or are like basically obsolete. Humans have basically trained themselves to be basically calculators. My man, he said, how much did the emperor them spend to come all this way to our planet? My man eyes rolled his head and just gave like the number, and I was like, oh snap, so cool. So you know, the Atreides family is letting he realized Duke Atreides is like, all right, cool, I understand what's going on here. Fine, we will answer the call of the emperor. And the Duke has a son named Paul, who is basically the heir to the Atreides family. And he's like, yeah, why we got to go out here, Dad? Our planet's beautiful. We got water here. Here, this place is damn hot as hell, or whatever. Now, mind you, the Duke is not married, but he does have a concubine who is the mother of his son, and which is completely normal. And she was sent by the Bene Gesserit, aka I like to call the space witches, who were they're space witches and they're telepaths, and they have almost like a connection with, I'm not going to say God, but a greater being, to say a greater being or whatever, and they can control people. They sent this girl to marry this man. Well, not marry this man, but have this man kids. But she was supposed to have a daughter, and that daughter was supposed to be trained to become a new Bene Gesserit. And the daughter, and she was like, "Nah, I'm good." And she basically gave that man a son like he wanted. So we got that part. You want to pick it up from here?
Yeah. So after all that, so we have Paul is and the cool thing about this, like we actually show Paul doing the stuff to prepare to go to Arrakis. He's like fighting and he's really reading. He's having visions this whole time about meeting Arrakis. We see visions of Zendaya, and he's like, "Oh my god, who is this beautiful mixed girl?"
Yeah, right.
I've been, Mama, I've been having dreams.
I've been having dreams, Mama. I don't know if I can tell you about these dreams.
I don't know, sticky situation. So he's having dreams. The Ben and Gesserit pull up, right?
Yo.
Ben and Gesserit pull up and say, "Hey, you did the wrong thing here, buddy. You supposed to have a daughter. Let's hey, come here." And it was cool because he really got the same treatment that okay, he got the same treatment that Thor got from Doctor Strange when when Thor went to the to the house on Bleecker Street when the sang the same Thor. I was like, ooh, it's like, yo, how did he even get here? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah. So what's even more funny is she comes in there. The one thing I think I left out, the mother was supposed to have a daughter, and she was supposed to train the daughter to be a Bene Gesserit. She's been training the son the ways of the Bene Gesserit, and so he can do the little greater being speak and everything too, but he hasn't really mastered it yet. And the mother is just like, "Are you telling me to do it, or are you making me do it?" It's like it's a voice that comes along. It's like, "Give me something to drink," and the person will bring them something to drink or whatever. I'm sorry, I just had to bring that part.
Yeah, out. Like that's kind of like the Jedi mind trick equivalent. Right. Thanks, George.
Right.
So and then we go through this whole test, and y'all just gotta YouTube Paul Atreides test, and the Bene Gesserit, the head of the Bene Gesserit. I just want to say, I'm gonna skip around a little bit. This lady is smart and conniving because she's playing all sides as well. Like she's playing her, she's playing the Harkonnen, she's also playing the Emperor. So they're trying to make sure that their prophecy gets fulfilled for the for essentially the chosen one for them.
Yeah.
So
the Kwisatz Haderach.
The Kwisatz Haderach. Yeah. The Kwisatz Haderach.
And basically, if you're wondering what we mean by chosen one too, on top of that, basically the Christ-like figure.
Yeah. That's the archetype for this. So or the trope rather. So yeah, that's that whole thing is a thing too. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay. So we get to Arrakis and everybody's there. The locals are there. The locals is like, yo, that cannot be the Ben Al Gaib. I think that's how it's pronounced, all right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ben
he was like,
Agai, yeah.
yeah, like, yo, man, your man looked too small, and like everybody knows that he's supposedly the chosen one, but don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody really believe it. And now
Right.
you think about it, we have two factions of people who, to him, he's supposed to be the chosen one, to the Bene
Mm-hmm.
Gesserit
Mm-hmm.
and to the people of Arrakis. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So this is weird. He's like all things to all people now. So they
Mm-hmm.
get settled in. The Harkonnen straight just obviously like, look, yo, we're gonna sabotage this for you the
Mm-hmm.
whole time. They lay little small traps. Little mosquito thing comes in there and tries to kill your boy. He catches it. Like it's this booby trap island. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Can't forget about our boy Duncan Idaho, aka Jason
Duncan,
Momoa,
Idaho.
who is
Yeah.
who is a really fun character with a crazy name. His name took me out of it. I said, "How we in
Yeah.
space and your last name is Idaho?" Anyway, but
Idaho.
yeah, and he's there, and he's been there for a few weeks ahead of time. He's actually been ingratiated by the people of Arrakis and kind of showed
Mm-hmm.
them the ways, learn how to use the still suits because it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
Your body has to basically, it's a suit that recycles your own water so you can like survive.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nasty when you think
All
about it.
water. All
Yeah,
water.
all water, all liquid. You know what I'm
All
saying?
liquid that comes from you.
Yeah, yeah. The liquid is very, since it's so scarce, it's like a
Yeah.
commodity. And eventually,
What was it he said? What was he saying when the dude said the water is sacred? Because remember
yeah,
there was a spit where he met him and
yeah,
they
yeah.
spit
He
on the
spit on it. He's like, what the heck is it? No, 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 no.
they thought it
That's
was so disrespectful. He said he was and spit. They was like, yo, they pulled their weapons out. It was like, yo, man, it's all good, man. And he was like, thank you. What is it? Thank you for sharing your moisture with us. And they spit right back at him. So yeah.
yeah, man. So again, the locals.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We get to the point where it's one night and everybody's asleep, and off into the distance, you see explosions, and then you
Mm-hmm.
see just all the Harkonnens
Oh
coming
yeah.
right back to Arrakis and just
And don't
waylays to
forget
it.
too. And don't forget too, it's not just the Harkonnens. It is like the let's just say the special infantry of the royal military too. Because
Oh
remember,
yeah,
they
yeah,
went to
yeah,
the Harkonnens went to them and was like, hey, we need some of you guys to go get our shit back.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, to get our
It's
ish
yeah.
back.
It's like
Yeah, and
they went and
this is all the
hired.
plan of the emperor.
They
So
went
this
and
is the
hired the
whole
Navy
thing.
SEAls
Yeah, right,
to
right.
come get their stuff. And I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
way laced to the trade these people, man. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they had yo, they had my
Go
man.
ahead, go
They
ahead,
had
go for it.
like the sad part was one of the people who was with them. Again, another thing I didn't a small thing I didn't like about just how they pick these characters. The
Mm-hmm.
character who betrayed them is an Asian dude. Like I like why everybody that
Mm.
betrayed him gotta be some sort of non-white person in this story. I was not like again, I love this. There's just some small little things that was like, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
he betrayed him because he wanted his wife back. Ends up gets double crossed and he gets killed too because
Mm-hmm.
why not? They had
Harkonnens are
my
trash. Yeah.
man. They had what's the father Atreides
Duke
name?
Duke Duke Leto.
They had Duke Leto butt naked at a dinner table, almost passed out, while the head Harkonnen was just eating some chicken. I mean, like, oh,
This slovenly, disgusting,
cousin,
just
you're such a
oh
great chef, cousin. Like,
yeah,
Tony, not only did they had this man laid up butt naked, they were there so long that they made dinner for
yeah,
this dude. And then it was
yeah,
like, hey, let's go ahead and is eat and let's talk about it. And he all and Duke almost got him.
yeah.
Almost got him. But
Because the guy that betrayed them for it, he betrayed the Duke in them, but he also was like, hey, I'm gonna put a cap over your back too. It's poisonous when he gets close enough. bite that jank down, release the poison. Everybody in the vicinity is going to die. Unfortunately, you're going to die as well.
He's like, man, you're
Duke's,
gonna die anyway.
yeah. The Duke, the Duke sat there and waited for the main Harkonnen dude. I can't think his name for shit right there. And he got up in his face and he crunched that thing and that spray came out. He was able to float away or whatever, but everybody else got caught and died up in it, man. And in the process of this, um, Paul Atreides and his mother escape.
Yeah, they end up
And then
escaping, and
escaping. And
they run to
yeah,
the
go ahead.
desert, and they end up in
Mm-hmm.
some sort of like desert bubble thing. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
was on like it's like the still suit, but it was like almost like a like you going
a
camping.
tent. Yeah,
Yes,
it was like a
there we
tent.
go. It's
It was
like a
like a tent.
tent, but it
Yeah.
was able to go underneath the sand, and it was
And
able
my
to.
favorite scene was in that tent because earlier in the film, you saw that Paul, he had like almost like an allergic reaction to the spice that's in the sand. And he started like tweaking or whatever. And so he's out there in the desert, and the desert is full of the spice or whatever. He's tweaking. And then like his mother's like, Paul, are you okay? And then Paul has this vision, and he says like a speech in the middle of this vision, and it goes like this. He was like, it's coming. I see a holy war spreading across the universe like an unquenchable fire, a warrior religion that waves the Atreides banner in my father's name.
My father's
Fanatic,
name.
fanatical legions worshiping at the shrine of my father's skull. A war in my father's name. Everyone shouting my name. Dude, my favorite scene in the thing. And then you see like visions of what he's doing. His mother's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Type thing. And he snaps and she's trying to console him. He's like, get away from me. It's because of you. You made me a freak. And he's saying that
You're Benny Gesserit.
you're your Benny Gesserit. So basically, he's like, yo, because you decided to make me a male, and I have these Benny Gesserits, and I'm having all these visions and everything like this. It's your fault that I'm fucking tweaking and I'm losing my mind right
Yeah,
now, lady.
basically.
Man,
That
yeah, and
part was so good, but I cried
yeah,
laughing. And
yeah.
to be
Timothy
honest,
Chalamet, like he
yeah,
did his
yeah,
part. He did
he
it.
was,
He acted
yeah,
in that
he was
thing,
doing his
man.
thing. The and a
In
good thing
my
about that,
father's name.
in my father's name, he was
Yo, but do you know
mad,
how
yo.
wild? No, do you know how wild that is? A fanatical legions worshiping at the shrine of my father's skull, a war in my name. What?
Yeah, that
What?
yeah, like shout out Frank Herbert, man. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what he
yeah.
was on doing this, yo. Like, what was you on when you was writing this, man? Like this is a
Yeah.
lot. All right, so the rest of the I can
Mm-hmm.
speed run the rest of the movie. The rest of the
Yeah.
movie is basically him trying to run from the Harkonnens.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up running into the actual people on the planet. They get
Mm-hmm.
into some sort of ceremonial fight. He kills a black guy, and now he gets to ride sandworms. All right, so he also meets Zendaya. Zendaya
Yeah.
has a runtime of a minute and 57 seconds in this movie,
Yo,
and
which is hilarious.
she is a named star on this joint,
Yeah.
which is beautiful for progress. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
all right, what do you want to answer more? Because you run out of time. Do you want to
I know we
answer
run.
what do you want from Dune 2? Or
Mm-hmm.
do you want to talk about do you think this can be better than The Empire Strikes Back? Because that's what early reviews are saying.
Okay, let's talk about being better than Empire Strikes Back.
All right.
Um, as I've said before, I work TV station and we have an entertainment reporter. He's already seen this movie. He straight up said, fantastic, probably better than he says most likely better than the first. And due to Empire Strikes Back, that is a movie that most people Empire Strikes Back and The Godfather 2 are the two sequels that people
Terminator 2.
hold yeah, excuse me, damn, Terminator 2 are like the three sequels that people hold, when movies come out, if I'm saying they're better than the original. And those three are, in my opinion, better than the original. And they're saying this is it right here. And like I said, I can't wait. I can't wait till Thursday to come up. I just want to go to sleep right now, wake up Thursday. It's Thursday 2:30. I can go right around the corner to the movie theater and go watch this movie because I'm excited for it. I have an idea of some stuff that's going to happen because I've read some things about Dune or read like books, some stuff like that. But I just want to know, are they, because there's still a lot of stuff that needs to happen.
Oh
Is it
yeah.
going to be another third movie to cover this first thing, or are they going to complete out this first book?
I think that Denis Villeneuve said he always intended this to be like a 3-part thing. So
And
wherever
it's
we
crazy.
finish with this,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be another one. So hence everybody giving us the Empire Strike Back
Mm-hmm.
comparison. Now, I'm gonna be very honest.
What's up?
Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie and my
Mm-hmm.
top 3 movie of all time.
Okay.
I'm just I don't
Okay.
care what other movies fluctuate in and out of that top 3. Empire
Okay.
Strikes Back is always in that top 3. This
Okay.
is going to be a damn hard task for this to be on par with ESB. I'm just gonna be honest. But if it is anywhere near it, then
Mm-hmm.
I will be happily satisfied. Let's just keep it with the Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Original Star Wars it's a solid flick. It is the quintessence of the hero's journey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it from that standpoint, Paul's character basically did the hero, he completed his entire hero's journey. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? However, we didn't at the time, they didn't know they was going to do a part two.
Mm-hmm.
But we full and well know there's going to be a part two.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the expectations are even more so than it was for Star Wars.
Okay.
With that being said, I am I'm hyped, man. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, bro, like I'm ready to see this in IMAX. The last thing I saw in IMAX was Oppenheimer. And
Yes.
I'm just really like I'm genuinely excited to see a movie. I am genuinely excited to come back up here next
Mm-hmm.
Monday, 7 p.m. Make sure y'all stay tuned. The
Mm-hmm.
review will be premiering and being just elated with whatever happens because I know it's
Yeah.
going to be good. Denis Villeneuve, I don't think he's missed yet. Like
Mm-hmm.
out of everything I've seen he watched, he, I mean, okay, like even like Arrival was the most craziest non-linear timeline alien movie ever made, and it was
Oh,
amazing. And it
yeah.
was heartfelt too. Like I was
Yeah.
like, why do I feel like I need to cry? But he
Yeah.
did that. So like
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait, man. Yeah. If y'all love Dune, if y'all never seen Dune, go see it. Matter of fact, go watch it on Netflix before it leaves this Friday, the
Mm-hmm.
29th. Yeah, it leaves this Friday on Netflix. Go see it. Go
If you
watch
got
the
HBO,
movie.
if you got HBO Max, it's right there for you.
Yeah. Of course, you got Max. You know, shout out David Zasloff. And yeah, that's all we got for today, y'all. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we will see you all next week, or maybe later this week something pops up, but definitely next Monday. All right.
Indeed. Thanks, everybody.